Hi, this is Henk Akkermans. This is Supply Chain Dynamics Chapter 4, Sysdea gameplay for production planning. Production planning is the most complicated sector in this model, um, and it is somewhat complicated. Let me walk you through it. Let's start at the end and then work back at the beginning. The end is this here. You want to know how many, let's follow the line here, how many wafers should I set up? How many production should I start here? And what gets in here is at least some order rates, some actual orders being placed. Now, let's see how we get from here to there. First of all, this smoother desired production is indeed a smoother version of the currently desired production starts, which you can see from here. Minimum, it's either so it's the minimum desired production start minus the smoother desired production start. So this is an information delay, simple information delay. So how do we get here? Well, here you see two arrows coming in, and they come from two different regions. The function itself says I will take the biggest one of these two. Either I take the one coming from capacity or the one coming from orders and stock. What does this mean? Well, this means that in a capacity intensive industry such as semiconductors, under normal conditions, what the company will always do is they will try to maintain a certain minimum amount of capacity utilization, simply because the capacity is so expensive. If you don't utilize, say, 75% here, you can never make money. You can, if you have enough orders for the 75% capacity utilization, great. If you don't have those, then let's hope you have them tomorrow and you build stock. So in the current format, in this formulation, if the capacity, if the number of desired production from orders and stock is less than 75% of the current capacity, you will simply produce 75% of capacity. If it's more than 75%, you will produce here. So how do we get 75% of capacity? Well, we have here the normal capacity utilization, but there's an exception, and the exception occurred during the moment of truth in month 22, when during the crisis that hit Philips Semiconductors, they realized that now all bets were off, and they couldn't simply keep front-loading the factories. They had to look at what orders were really there. In that case, the minimum capacity suddenly becomes zero, and the company will only produce what orders it has. This also applies, its minimum, to the production forecast adjustment delay. Normally that's a very smoother process of 6 months, but between months 22 and 27 in this model, in the base case, it becomes a very short technical delay. That's what this if-then statement is saying, and this is the effect that you have then. So during the short period, very rapidly the company looks at, okay, what is happening here now in the last 2 weeks. So this is all about capacity. So the normal conditions, 75% of capacity is the target. During that special period between the moment of truth and back to business as usual, it was 0%. The forecasted order rate comes from the production forecast. And the production forecast basically comes from the order backlog. Not shown in here, but shown in the formula. Order backlog divided by target company delivery delay. That's how much you want to be able to produce. How much is in the order backlog divided by the production delay. There are, again, here some exceptions. For instance, if we have the switch forecast based on order book status, you no longer, if that's active, then you look at order backlog. If it's and when it is active, then this one, the new orders, they are ignored. The logic here is that under normal conditions, Philips Semiconductors and indeed all semiconductors companies will only look at the order book in its entirety for reasons that are explained more in detail in the model, or in the book, sorry. And not at what are the current orders that we had last week. which means that they have a very long delay in seeing that orders are drying up, new orders. If you switch this one to 0, then only the new orders are being counted in. Anyway, this leads to a smoothed process. You have a forecasted order rate. This then affects at least the desired production. But there's also a correction for stock imbalances. So if the target work in process and the target final stock is not equal to the actual inventory, then this will lead to an inventory correction, and that's also up here. So the desired production from orders is the forecasted order rate. So we think we have in the order book, plus some correction for work in progress and final products. So this then normally is the input over 75%. This is the minimum that the company wants to hold. And that results in this type of production. I hope you were able to follow. And if not, well, you can replay this video. Good luck.